Number 1 on our list is Undisputed, the most ambitious boxing simulation released in recent years. This game puts you in the gloves of real licensed fighters across multiple weight classes and delivers a level of authenticity that boxing fans have been craving for over a decade. The movement system feels fluid and responsive, rewarding players who learn footwork, timing, and distance management rather than just button mashing. Each punch lands with genuine weight and consequence, and the career mode lets you build a fighter from the ground up through rankings, training camps, and title fights. The graphics on PS5 are sharp and detailed, with realistic sweat, bruising, and corner cut animations that add immersion. Online multiplayer is functional and competitive, offering ranked matches against players globally. Undisputed successfully fills a massive gap in the sports game market. EA Sports UFC 5 takes the second spot, and while it focuses on mixed martial arts, the boxing mechanics within the game are genuinely elite and deserve recognition on this list. The striking system received a major overhaul with this installment, making stand-up boxing feel more realistic and technical than ever before. The new injury and damage system means fights can shift momentum based on accumulated punishment to the head and body. Clinch work and grappling are deeply integrated, but the pure boxing exchanges are where the game truly shines for fans of the sweet science. Real-time deformation technology makes faces bruise, swell, and cut dynamically during fights. The roster is massive, with hundreds of fighters across all divisions, and the career mode offers a compelling journey from prospect to champion. It looks stunning on PS5 hardware. Coming in at number 3, Creed Champions 2 builds directly on the Rocky and Creed film universe with an expanded roster and refined arcade-style gameplay. This entry leans into the cinematic legacy of the franchise, letting players step into the roles of iconic characters like Adonis Creed, Rocky Balboa, Ivan Drago, and many more. The gameplay is faster and more accessible than a pure simulation, making it welcoming for casual players, while still offering enough depth for returning fans. Story mode follows multiple characters with unique arcs tied loosely to the movie timeline, giving the game genuine narrative weight. The PS5 version runs at a smooth frame rate and delivers solid visual presentation with well-animated fighter models. Multiplayer modes, including local couch co-op, keep things entertaining for group sessions. A solid pick for fans of the films and fun boxing action combined.
Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions sits at number 4 and offers one of the most entertaining arcade boxing experiences available on PS5 right now. The game channels the spirit of classic over-the-top boxing titles while wrapping everything in the beloved Rocky and Creed IP. Each fighter has unique special moves and signature attacks that feel true to their on-screen personalities, making character selection feel meaningful. The controls are simple enough to pick up within minutes, but mastering each fighter requires understanding their individual strengths and move timing. Graphically, the game uses a bold, stylized art style rather than photorealism, giving it a distinct look that ages well. The story mode walks through iconic moments from the film series with fun presentation. It is best enjoyed with a friend in local versus mode, where the competitive energy really comes alive on screen.
Number 5 belongs to eSports Boxing Club, a deeply technical boxing simulation that targets the hardcore fan base who want real-world boxing tactics translated faithfully into a game. The development team has worked closely with boxing professionals to ensure that footwork, guard positions, ring generalship, and punch variety all reflect how the sport actually operates. The fighter roster includes real licensed boxers with accurately recreated fighting styles that dedicated fans will immediately recognize. Character creation is robust and allows for a highly personalized boxer with detailed customization options. The career mode tracks your progression through regional circuits up toward world championship belts across multiple sanctioning bodies. Online performance on PS5 is stable, with minimal lag during competitive matches. This is the game serious boxing fans have been building toward, and it delivers a genuinely impressive package overall. Punch Club 2 Fast Forward takes the 6th position as a unique boxing management and RPG hybrid that stands out from everything else on this list. Rather than controlling punches directly, this game tasks you with managing your fighter's training schedule, diet, relationships, and fight strategy in a deep simulation layer. The retro pixel art style gives it a charming visual identity that contrasts with the serious depth underneath the surface. Story elements are surprisingly engaging, with humor and pop culture references woven throughout the campaign. Between fights, you make decisions that affect your fighter's stats and career trajectory in meaningful ways. The PS5 version runs cleanly, and the gameplay loop is genuinely addictive once you understand the systems. If you enjoy management games with a boxing skin, this is absolutely worth your time and offers many hours of content. Boxing Champs comes in at number 7 as a mobile-born title that made a solid transition to the PS5 platform with touch-up improvements to controls and visuals. The game offers a straightforward arcade boxing experience with a career mode, tournament brackets, and a decent roster of fighters to face. It lacks the licensing depth of bigger titles, but compensates with fun and breezy gameplay that is accessible to players of all skill levels. The controls map cleanly to the DualSense controller, with the adaptive trigger features adding light resistance during punches. Progression feels satisfying as you earn upgrades and take on increasingly difficult opponents across different venues. Graphically, it sits in the mid-tier, but runs flawlessly on PS5 hardware. For players wanting a no-frills boxing game to enjoy casually between sessions of more demanding titles, this fits that role well. Title Bout Championship Boxing 3 earns the 8th spot as the most statistically detailed boxing simulation on the platform, with an emphasis on historical data and realistic outcomes. This is a game built for fans who love boxing as a sport and want to recreate legendary matchups or simulate entire divisional histories. The depth of management tools available is extraordinary, covering everything from training staff and training camp selection to fight strategy and corner advice. Visual presentation is functional rather than flashy, but the data systems beneath the surface are genuinely impressive in their scope. You can import historical fighters and stage fantasy matchups that the community has been debating for decades. Online leagues and tournaments allow for long-term competitive play with persistent records. It rewards patience and deep engagement with boxing knowledge above all else. Coming in at number 9, World Boxing Manager takes a different approach by placing you in the corner rather than the ring. As a promoter and trainer, building a stable of fighters from scratch. You scout raw talent, develop training programs, negotiate contracts, arrange fights, and guide careers toward world title opportunities. The systems modeling fighter development feel authentic, with fatigue, age, prime years, and decline, all playing into long-term career planning. Financial management adds a meaningful business layer where poor decisions can bankrupt your operation, even if your fighters are talented. The game lacks flashy production values, but compensates with genuine depth that keeps management fans engaged for many hours. The PS5 version includes quality-of-life updates that make navigation and data management faster. For fans of sports management, this is a satisfying and underappreciated title. Knockout League takes number 10 with a VR-compatible arcade boxing experience that delivers something genuinely unique in the genre. The game is inspired by the classic feel of Punch-Out, but adds modern presentation and motion control compatibility on PS5 with PlayStation VR 2. Fighting against quirky, stylized opponents with their own patterns and tells creates a satisfying puzzle-solving element beneath the action. Each bout requires pattern recognition and timing rather than just reaction speed alone. Non-VR play is also available and still enjoyable using the DualSense controller with responsive and clean controls. The art style is colorful and exaggerated, giving the game strong personality that separates it from serious simulation titles. It works perfectly as a party game or a casual session pick. The variety of opponents keeps the experience fresh across the full campaign. Real Boxing 2 sits at 11 as a polished free-to-play style boxing game that delivers impressive visual quality relative to its lightweight nature. The fighter customization tools are extensive, allowing detailed creation of appearance, gear, and fighting style. Career progression is structured around a ladder of increasingly challenging opponents, with meaningful unlocks between fights. The core gameplay strikes a middle ground between arcade and simulation, making it approachable without feeling completely shallow. Special move systems add an extra layer of excitement during high-pressure moments in fights. PS5 performance is excellent with smooth frame rates and clean presentation. Multiplayer is available and functional, with a healthy enough player base to find matches at most hours. It is not the deepest boxing game available, but offers a genuinely enjoyable package, especially for players new to the genre.
Surface Boxing earns the 12th position as a game with strong foundational mechanics that rewards skillful defensive play and counterpunching above aggressive offense. The timing windows for blocks and counters feel well-tuned, giving the game a rhythm that experienced players will appreciate after learning the systems. Fighter variety covers multiple weight classes with distinct stat profiles that influence how each matchup plays out. Career mode is solid, if not especially innovative, and walks you through ranked competition toward a championship belt. The graphics are clean on PS5, with smooth animations that communicate punch trajectories clearly. Online play is available with reasonable matchmaking and a competitive community. The game does not try to be everything at once, and the focus on doing core mechanics well pays off in a satisfying experience that holds up over many hours of play.
FaceBreaker comes in at 13 as a returning arcade-style boxing game that embraces over-the-top presentation and exaggerated fighter characters for maximum fun. The roster features wildly stylized characters with distinct personalities and special abilities that separate it clearly from simulation competitors. Gameplay centers on building combo chains and landing spectacular finishing blows that send opponents flying. The humor and visual style lean heavily into absurdist energy that makes it stand out on a shelf full of serious titles. Local multiplayer is where this game absolutely shines, with chaotic back-and-forth matches creating memorable moments. The PS5 version brings enhanced visual quality and reduced loading times compared to previous versions of the game. It won't satisfy fans looking for technical depth, but as a party game and casual experience, it delivers genuine entertainment value. Fight Night Champion takes the 14th spot and remains one of the most celebrated boxing games ever made, now playable on PS5 through backward compatibility with meaningful performance improvements. The game's full-spectrum punch control system changed how players interact with boxing games by mapping punches to analog stick movements for unprecedented physical authenticity. The story mode, following Andre Bishop, remains one of the most compelling narratives ever delivered in a sports game, with mature themes and strong character writing. Online modes and traditional career gameplay both hold up remarkably well, even against newer competition. Running on PS5 hardware, the game performs smoothly, with improved frame rates that make the already responsive controls feel even sharper. The absence of a true next-gen sequel makes this title's continued relevance a testament to how well it was built, an essential boxing game experience regardless of era. ARMS lands at number 15 as Nintendo's creative take on boxing that defies easy genre categorization, while delivering genuinely inventive competitive gameplay. The game uses spring-armed characters in a three-dimensional arena that rewards spatial awareness and reading opponent movements rather than pure reaction time. Each character has unique arm weapons that can be mixed and matched to create diverse fighting strategies across matchups. The roster of characters is creatively designed with strong individual identities that make character selection feel meaningful. While primarily a Nintendo Switch title, PS5 players can access it through streaming options, making it part of the accessible boxing landscape in 2026. Party mode and ranked online are both entertaining, and the skill ceiling is higher than the cheerful presentation suggests. An inventive and underappreciated contribution to the boxing game genre, worth experiencing. Legends of Wrestling Showdown takes the 16th position, and while it centers on professional wrestling, the boxing match type and dedicated striking mechanics make it a relevant inclusion for fans of combat sports gaming on PS5. The roster spans multiple eras of professional wrestling history, with accurately recreated movesets and presentation. Standalone boxing bouts are fully playable, and the striking system is deep enough to satisfy boxing game fans looking for something crossover. Creator wrestler tools are extensive, and the community has built extensive content libraries. Career and exhibition modes offer significant replay value across different playstyles. The game runs well on PS5, with consistent performance and solid visual quality for the character models. Fans of both wrestling and boxing will find enough here to justify the time investment, particularly in multiplayer settings. TKO's Super Championship Boxing claims number 17 as a focused boxing simulation with clean presentation and dependable core mechanics.
The game covers multiple weight classes with a balanced roster and solid career mode structure. Fight mechanics reward technical play with guard breaks, bodywork, and combination accuracy, all contributing to fight outcomes in realistic ways. Training systems between fights allow stat improvement and specialization that shapes how your fighter performs over a long career. The visual style aims for clean realism rather than flashy excess and succeeds in creating readable and fluid animations during bouts. Online play is available, and the competitive community provides meaningful matchups for players seeking external challenge. It sits confidently in the mid-tier of boxing game quality, delivering consistent and enjoyable experiences without breakthrough innovation. A reliable choice for dedicated boxing game fans on the platform.
Full Metal Fist arrives at number 18 as a cyberpunk-themed boxing game that wraps its brawling mechanics in a vivid science fiction setting that distinguishes it immediately from the field. The aesthetic combines neon-lit underground fight venues with mechanical augmentations and futuristic gear that give fighters visual personality beyond normal sports presentation. Gameplay leans toward fast and aggressive action, with augmentation abilities adding special attack options that create exciting, unpredictable fight moments. The story campaign follows an underground fighter working through illegal circuits in a dystopian city, with enough narrative momentum to stay engaging. World building is rich with environmental detail across the various arena locations visited throughout the game. PS5 lighting and shadow rendering bring the neon environments to life in genuinely impressive ways. A strong option for players who want boxing mechanics wrapped in exciting genre fiction. Contender Boxing Rivals enters at 19 as a multiplayer-focused boxing game built specifically around competitive online play with ranked matchmaking and seasonal reward systems. The fighter creator is robust and allows extensive customization of appearance, fighting style, and signature techniques. Balance updates have been frequent since launch, keeping the competitive meta dynamic and preventing any single approach from dominating the player base. Matches are intense and strategic, with a community that has developed genuine high-level play over time. The game runs at a consistently high frame rate on PS5, which is critical for the timing-sensitive defensive mechanics. Solo career content is functional, but the clear priority is the online experience, which delivers on its promise. If you are looking for a boxing game with a living competitive scene, this is currently the strongest option available, and the developer support remains active.
Pride FC arrives at 20 as a game honoring the legendary Japanese mixed martial arts organization, while incorporating boxing-focused match types within a broader combat sports structure. The presentation captures the dramatic atmosphere of Pride events with authentic commentary style and arena recreation. Boxing-specific matches within the game use a dedicated rule set that rewards technical striking over grappling and offers a clean boxing experience within a broader MMA framework. The historical roster includes iconic fighters from the organization's peak years with accurately recreated styles and signature techniques. Visually, the game delivers strong character model quality on PS5 with smooth fight animations. The reverence for the source material makes this a deeply satisfying experience for combat sports fans with knowledge of Pride's historical significance in the industry. A unique and well-executed tribute to a legendary promotion. WWE 2K24 takes the 24th spot, and while its core focus is professional wrestling, the boxing match types included in the game are well-developed and offer a distinct mode that stands apart from the main product. The striking system during boxing matches is clean and responsive, with satisfying punch feedback through the DualSense adaptive triggers. The full roster gives boxing mode variety, and the ability to pit historical and current stars against each other in boxing contests is genuinely entertaining. Production values are among the highest in any combat sports game on PS5, with exceptional presentation, commentary, and arena atmosphere. Creation tools are extraordinarily deep, and the community generates constant new content that extends the game's lifespan. For players who enjoy both wrestling and boxing, there is a surprising amount of quality boxing content woven into this package that justifies its place on this list. AEW Fight Forever hits the 22nd spot, bringing the alternative professional wrestling product to PS5, with a boxing mode and dedicated striking mechanics that offer clean gameplay. The game's arcade sensibility and fast-paced presentation make it immediately accessible, with a shorter learning curve than simulation competitors.
The AEW roster is well represented, with accurate movesets and personality reflected in how each character controls. Minigame collections and Road to Elite Career Mode provide entertaining content beyond standard exhibition play. Boxing-specific match types are available and competent within the game's broader combat system. Local multiplayer is a particular strength, where the fast arcade style creates exciting back-and-forth action between players. It does not reach the production heights of WWE 2K24, but compensates with personality and a refreshingly fun approach to combat sports entertainment that resonates with its fanbase. UFC 4 arrives at 23 as a proven EA Sports combat title that remains technically available and enjoyable on PS5, despite the release of its successor. The boxing mechanics within UFC 4 are refined and satisfying, with a wide variety of punch combinations available across different fighter stances and styles. Real licensed fighters bring authentic style representation that dedicated fans appreciate during matchups. The career mode is deep, with training camp sequences, sponsorship decisions, and rivalry development adding narrative weight to the progression. While UFC 5 improves upon many systems, this entry retains a loyal community and performs well on PS5 hardware at a now accessible price point. The striker versus grappler dynamic creates tactical variety that keeps extended play sessions interesting. A solid and dependable combat sports game that remains worth owning for its strong boxing content alone.
Wrestle City Boxing earns the 24th position as a creative mashup concept blending professional wrestling presentation with pure boxing gameplay in ways that produce surprising and entertaining results. The roster features wrestling-inspired characters with exaggerated designs that lean into spectacle and entertainment above realism. Special moves incorporate wrestling-adjacent theatrics that make fight climaxes visually exciting and distinct from conventional boxing games. Career Mode builds a compelling rags-to-riches narrative with personality that keeps you invested in your fighter's journey through the ranks. The PS5 version delivers clean visuals and solid performance with loading times that never interrupt the gameplay flow. Multiplayer modes are accessible and fun, with intuitive controls that new players can grasp quickly. It fills a creative niche that few games attempt, and does so with enough quality to recommend confidently to players looking for something different in the boxing genre. Victory Road Boxing closes our list at 25 as a boxing title that channels classic arcade energy while delivering modern PS5 performance and visual fidelity. The game features a colorful cast of fighters across multiple weight divisions, each with distinct fighting styles and visual personalities that make the roster feel genuinely varied. Career Mode follows your custom fighter through regional circuits to world championship contention, with satisfying pacing throughout the journey. The physics system handles knockdowns and referee stoppages with convincing animation quality. Training minigames break up the fight schedule and contribute meaningfully to stat development, rather than feeling like filler content. Online multiplayer is active with regular matchmaking across skill levels. Victory Road Boxing represents exactly what a strong arcade boxing game should be in 2026, balancing accessibility with enough depth to remain engaging through a full career mode completion.